Hey everyone, so welcome back. I recently, one of my friends just had a really big health scare, and that's causing me to just really focus on my health, like really like go all in connecting mind, body, spirit, my lived experience, changing everything, and examining the city as a Skinner box has helped me, because basically a Skinner box is a box that's set up for like rewards. So there was this psychologist named B.F. Skinner, and he set up a box with pigeons, and he had the pigeons peck on this circle, and every time they pecked on the circle they would get a treat. So that was their reward. And so the pigeons came to learn that every time they pecked they'd get a reward. But now here's the tricky part. There's something called variable reward. So what Skinner started doing was changing the frequency at which he gave the reward. So let's say the pigeon pecked the first time, boom, they get a reward. They peck the second time, they don't get a reward. So they try it again, they get a reward. And he was spacing it out like that, and what he learned was that just the anticipation of the reward was motivating enough. Now, maybe I'm not saying it right, but the point is that the pigeons pretty much got like addicted, let's say, to like the pecking because they were expecting a reward, and then they just kept like trying, right? So there's a lot of things that are similar to that today, and one of them is gambling, especially machine gambling. And there's a great book out there called Gambling by Design. I believe it's by Natasha Dow Schul. And then the other thing is our phones. A lot of these social media apps that we use are driven by our anticipation for the likes and so on and so forth. And even like with texts, like the little ... they're creating a sense of anticipation of like, okay, will I get that message? So now I was like, how the heck is the city like a Skinner box for me? Like what is it that like I'm anticipating, and I'm anxious and I'm nervous, and like then it comes and there's a reward? Well, the train, right? So like it's not necessarily deliberate, but if the train's on time all the time, every day, you know, if I show up at this time, it's going to come. But New York City trains aren't always exactly on time. They run well, but they're not always on time. There's a lot of things that can cause delays. So basically every day I'm down there waiting on the platform, waiting for those doors to open so that I can get on the train. Well, there's a clock counting down. Like the 6 train is 4 minutes away, 3 minutes away, right? That's causing anticipation. And then as the train comes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to feel a sense of relief, right? And then as soon as the doors open, that's the reward. I'm on the train, boom, I'm relieved. So, like, okay, I've started to recognize, like, when I'm on the platform waiting for that train, take a deep breath. Don't get fooled by that anticipation. Recognize, let it rise, let it fall. because I believe that a lot of this excitement and adrenaline in the city is it's stimulating my appetite in a way. So like I walk a lot and I move a lot, but it's stimulating my appetite. It's also stimulating like ways for me to like, okay, to seek relief, right? And there's a lot of things too, like consumerism. I'm bombarded with like ads, things I'm not even aware of. So I love the city. It drives me, but I realize that it's largely an illusion. And in a spiritual sense, if I'm talking about Eastern religions, I believe it's in Buddhism, where there's this concept of Maya, that there's an illusion, and so there has to be something behind that. So my challenge right now is like, okay, how do I get this environment to draw out who I want to be, rather than letting the environment like force me so much, right? So that's like the layer, like this I'm now like shattering my preconceived ideas and beliefs of this city and how it drives me, and taking less and less at face value so that I can get calmer and sustain my breathing, my relaxation, so that I'm able to make better choices so that I can change my life. Bam. So that is what I've concluded on the city as a Skinner box. There are like so many other examples of that Skinner box thing, but I was just like, okay, the train is just so obvious, right? So now, High Carb Hannah, I rewatched like her first year of videos and took a bunch of notes. And so what I'm going to do in my next video is provide a summary of that. So like 15 years in 15 minutes. That's what I'll do. And then eventually like I'll break them down, because a lot of what she says is so practical, and she has like systems. Systems are so important to change, to habit change. And so I will be doing that. And then I have one final quote about systems that I read in Atomic Habits. It's that we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to, I think it's like the imperfections of our systems or something like that. I will put it at the end of this upload so that you all can check it out. And thank you for watching. I am experimenting and seeing how this channel will evolve. It's like experimenting with my life. I'm experimenting with my creativity. I'm experimenting with making videos, all of that. Okay, thank you, and see you next time.